it's your boy JC here. I'm doing a video on. Actually, it's more opinionated than anything else, and this video is purely because, as much of a face as what the World Cup draw was for this year's World Cup, it's actually shaping up to be, I think, the best Rugby World Cup in history. Look, purely, if you look at 2019 in Japan, it was a brilliant, lovely, amazing World Cup, and it was hosted by a non-traditional rugby country, whereas this one's hosted by France, a rugby traditional, a rugby playing nation. And if you look at your geography, France is centered around a lot of other rugby countries, okay? One centered with a lot of rugby countries, that makes easy travel and stuff like that. I'm going to start with my first point. The Rugby World Cup is a young sport. It's a young sporting event. First World Cup taking place in 1987, okay? And with it being so young, also, the so-called Tier 2 nations are actually catching up. And I believe this is the smallest the gap between Tier 1 and Tier 2 has ever been, okay? If you look at the form that Fiji showing, the form Japan has shown in 2019 and 2015, form Samoa showed in their recent match against against Ireland, and also the form that Tonga has shown in recent times as well, with the laws of the residency laws, where Tonga, particularly Tonga, Fiji and Samoa, can get their players that have been playing for New Zealand back to play for their countries as well. You'll see a slight gap and potentially a couple of shockers in this World Cup. Okay, with the form of Georgia's rise, Georgia beating Italy and Wales as recent as last year November, is proof that the gap between Tier 1 and Tier 2 is closing, and very fast, which means this World Cup, in my opinion, should be even more competitive. Okay. Second point, the World Cup is in France. Now, if you look at 2007 World Cup, how great that was. Almost every match was a sellout. Okay. And the atmosphere as well is France producing great sporting events. You can't help but really think that this World Cup is actually better than the previous World Cups that have been before. Okay. Then it takes me to the third point. Yes, the draw was outrageous, but if you look at how the draw is, the pool stage is normally predictable. Okay, it is easy to predict with one or two shockers here and there in the last few World Cups. The pool stage is not predictable, particularly with Pool A's. You're going to see All Blacks and France go through there. Whereas with Pool B, yes, South Africa and Ireland are favourites, but Scotland is the fifth best team in the world right now. So Scotland, it should also be in the picture there. Pool C, look at the ranking gap. I mean, since when have you had a pool that consists of Australia, Wales, Fiji, Georgia, and Portugal? Okay, and there's potential for neither Australia or Wales to actually be drawn, make it through to the quarterfinals. Okay, you get where I'm going with this. And Pool D, look, with Japan's form recently, you should see England and Argentina go through there, but Japan and Samoa can spring an upset, particularly Samoa to England. Okay, Samoa may just follow suit with what happened with with what Fiji did to England. You see what I'm saying? Again, which brings me to the example of the previous point. The gap between tier 1 and, well, the gap between so-called tier 1 and tier 2 is shrinking. And to me, there isn't it's not a given that tier 1 teams will beat tier 2 teams. The gap there is as existent as a Bifrost Bridge is in Thor. Okay? Which brings me to the playoffs. The next point. The playoffs, quarterfinals. Okay? The quarterfinals, you will see 2 of the top 4, top 5 teams not even make it to the semis. Okay? You have one side of the draw, which consists of South Africa, potentially South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, New Zealand, or France, each playing each other. Look, Scotland or Ireland or South Africa may not make it to the quarterfinals, but which also brings back to the interest to the pool stages. Okay. Then on the other side of the draw, you may have England, Australia, Wales, Argentina, Samoa, or Japan contesting quarterfinals on that end. And let's say Tonga or Fiji goes through. Listen to this. The Fijians go through, okay? And England, let's say Fiji finishes at the top of their pool. England, they may meet England or Argentina or Japan in the quarters. And you may see your first ever tier 2 team make it to a semi-final. Okay? So you know what? This World Cup is going to be interesting from start to finish. Okay? You get what I'm saying over here? So this is what I said. This World Cup will possibly be the greatest World Cup ever played. I'm sure this World Cup is going to beat football World Cups even. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, like the video, and please do not forget to subscribe to my link. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your evening.